So, takeaway you had before, you said this was one of the biggest. The club was going a long way inside.
Yeah.
Head was dropping, and you're obviously getting a lot nearer the golf ball. Once the hands went in, then they got to start redirecting back over the top. So the change of direction from there, we think where your hands are kind of here, and then when you come back to the golf ball over there, that's a big change of direction. They get under pressure, those movements there. Plus, when you're coming back over the top, you then got to try and stand up out of the way to hit the golf ball. So your spine angle now as you're coming to the golf ball is going to be sort of rising up and back to try and get to the room, holding onto the club face, keeping the club face squarer than longer than it needs to be. You get away with it when you're playing well, but under pressure, we said those three sort of movements of in, down, over the top, and then hold on to it, just aren't going to be as consistent. So the sensation you had was out there on the way back, which as we see in this one, is nowhere near the case there, and that club's perfect. I mean, taking back there over your talent, absolutely spot on. Hinging the wrists up there. It's keeping that head though as tall as we can. That's going to be the thing. If we can keep your head up there and not drop, okay, there, and lose space. Once you lose space, you've then got to find it by either moving your arms out or move the hips forward so the head's come back. So if you've got to try and find some room for your arms to go, the things you've been trying to work on by keeping the hips back or let the arms drop, you physically can't do. If you did do that, you'd slam the club in the ground a foot beyond the ball and just break your wrist. So you can't do it. Okay, so it's keeping that sort of position up there taller. Like I say, get something on there with your head there against the wall somewhere, so you feel you're almost going up through the wall there, staying taller, so it feels like you're almost pushing up through into your right leg rather than dropping down. The second you drop down and get lower as you go back, okay, you then got to start trying to move up the shot. Okay, so keeping that height there, it will enable your arms to come back on a slightly similar angle going back and through this way rather than going in there and coming back that way as you were. Because if you go down and in, something has to happen. Yeah. When you're playing well, you're clicking, you're timing it nicely, and it's pressure free, first dozen holes or whatever, there's nothing on it and so on, you can get away with it. You can find the goal where you get some good shots. But under pressure, it's the last hole, big match or whatever, this and the other, then you've got to rely on one swing and one shot to happen. Those three movements aren't going to quite time together because all those three different body movements are going to rely on a little bit of timing, body movements working at certain times and speed. It's a bit tense, a bit anxious, a bit twitchy. They're not going to work the same, are they? Yeah. So you're always going to have that sort of variety of shots, either one big left or big right, whatever, destructive shots on the scorecard. So ideally, as I say, we're looking to get those arms under the shoulders there, which they are better, to be fair, and keeping that posture back, which you are doing there, better. But improving that long term is going to be to give yourself that room on the way back, so you're going tall in the back. So when I put my hand on your head, you couldn't once it's the ground, could you? Yeah. You could actually fight, you couldn't reach the ground. Yeah. You're too far because you're used to going this way and instinctively then do this and rise up. So when I put my hand on your head there and you couldn't go down, you came up slightly, but then the ground was too far away. Yeah. So ideally we want to try and keep it a constant there to there, not down and up. Make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent, good man.